What's up, guys? Okay, so I told you I'd be doing some different stuff, and I told you that on the second channel that I would be doing some gun reviews and some training. So tonight's going to kind of be my first kind of like tabletop type review. I figured that I'm going to try to start with, as I get new guns or as I have guns come available for me to review, I'm going to do so. This one, technically, I figured I should start kind of at the beginning of our freedom, so to speak, right? So I actually have a Traditions Kentucky rifle, flintlock version. So if you're familiar with it, it's actually the Kentucky or Lancaster or American long rifle. Was kind of our introduction to the militia type during the Revolutionary War. I think they were usually in like 40, 45 caliber, I think. So this is kind of like a reproduction type replica, so to speak, you know. And where it's flintlock, it's actually not considered a firearm by our friends at the ATF. It's a muzzleloader, black powder, chambered in 50 caliber. It shoots a lead round ball. And usually patched. It's like a 49, I think, caliber diameter lead ball. So we're going to get some footage of shooting it too. But I want to just kind of take a first glance at it and look at it and talk a little bit about why I got this gun and talk a little bit about what my plans are with it and kind of give you guys a little bit of what to expect if you decide to pick one of these up for yourself. So let's check it out. Okay, guys, there it is. Traditions Kentucky 50 caliber 1 in 66 twist, and they are made in Spain, and they are obviously imported by Traditions in the United States. As I said, it is a flintlock. There's the flintlock mechanism. It is now. I literally just got it out of the box, and I don't go for all that unboxing stuff like you see a lot of the YouTubers do. You know, there's really nothing in this except for a manual, but generally speaking, I always kind of wondered like why people really care so much about the unboxing stuff. Like, I mean, we all kind of know what's going to be in these things when you get them. So, but there is some brass accents on it, and it is 50 caliber diameter with a ramrod because it is black powder muzzleloader, and it is has a little bit of stuff. It doesn't have the patch box or anything like that on it, which that was something that we've seen, obviously, historically, you know, with the patch boxes and stuff. This is obviously not, you know, extremely historically accurate. It's just kind of a representative of what we did have back then. So the really cool thing about this rifle is, if you were to compare this and think about it, this is kind of like the AR-15 of the Revolutionary War. This was our introduction to American-made fighting arms, and it was actually when we were traditionally, and a lot of people too historically, they like to say that, you know, this is kind of the gun that won the Revolutionary War. It's not. You know, this was something that was kind of it wasn't used as widespread as like the Brown Bess was, even though that, you know, the Brown Bess was actually a musket, which, if you're not familiar with what a musket is basically a smoothbore. So essentially think of a musket like a shotgun. I think they were like 70 some caliber-ish smoothbore muskets. So these guys came from I think the German Jaeger rifle, which was a flintlock rifled barrel rifle, you know, obviously from Germany, and the Americans kind of copied it. The Pennsylvania Lancaster rifle, and then later on the Kentucky rifle, just overall known as the American rifle. So what they done was they copied it and they kind of made their own version of it, you know, hillbilly style over here, right? So and that's kind of what this turned into be. But what made these things so unique and so famous, and what made them kind of a big deal in history, is because the rifled barrel, even though the projectile itself was much smaller. You know, you're looking at a 45 caliber, 45 caliber, maybe. I don't even know really. I think 45 caliber is pretty standard for a full size rifle, and some of the 30 some calibers and 40 some calibers maybe for the smaller more like a varmint type rifles. But they were designed obviously to be hunting rifles. But, you know, when the war broke out and, you know, the colonists decided to go to war with the British, it was kind of one of those things with the militia guys. They took whatever they could. So they were taking their hunting rifles that they were using, and that's what they were using to go, you know, fight for freedom. And what they found was this thing is tremendously more accurate than a musket, or than the British were using. You know, the smoothbore musket, you know, it's like slinging lead. You're guessing where it's going to go. And these things, where it's rifled, the projectile actually spins. So as it spins, it stabilizes, which allows it to be able to shoot further, more accurately. And we kind of introduced kind of the sniper type training or type warfare with these guys right here during the Revolutionary War. We had guys in certain units, and it slips me right now what those guys were. It's going to drive me crazy, but we had some certain guys that were kind of militia type, or even Continental Army type, that were known to be sharpshooters. They could to perform and pull off some tremendous shots with these guys. You know, compared to even by today's standards, so to speak, they were pretty damn accurate. So, you know, to be able to take out a British officer at a couple hundred yards or more, maybe, you know, with an iron sight, which they didn't have, you know, telescopic sights back then. I think the telescopic sights come to be in the early 1800s. So you're still probably 20, 30 or more years away from that. So to use a flintlock ignition system to shoot iron sights and stabilize a round ball for a couple hundred yards to make lethal shots is pretty daggone amazing, even by today's marksmanship standards. So think of this as the first AR-15s, or even more specifically, think of this like maybe the first bolt guns for snipers or scout snipers in our U.S. military now. And to kind of give you an idea how the flintlock, there's no flint in it. It's actually missing the flint. But I just haven't put it in there. I just now got it. Like I said, I just now got it out of the box. But the idea is the flint goes in this cock, and as you draw this back, and this frizzen here is actually designed for the flint to strike it, and then in here, it's called the flash pan. And what happens is you put a little touch of ignition powder in there, the flint comes down and strikes this frizzen, shoving this forward and dropping sparks into this little pan, igniting the powder that's in there and going in through that touch hole into the primary charge in the barrel. So the idea was that it was better than using, well, at least simpler than using like the matchlock that was prior to this, and the wheel lock was also prior to this. But the wheel lock was never really a military weapon. It was too expensive. It wasn't practical for the mechanisms, and they were bigger and bulkier and heavier. Even though they were, you know, pretty consistent and fairly reliable, they just weren't practical for military type applications, and too expensive. So it really kind of replaced the flintlock, kind of replaced the matchlock in terms of actual military weapons. So it certainly was an improvement overall, being mobile, you know, for units or military personnel to be able to use this and stay mobile. And that's definitely what they had in mind, you know, during those times. So, but to think that this kind of started it all off, you know, for our freedom and our Freedom Fridays, as we know on the Legicator channel, right? So, but this is kind of what got it going. And this is a beautiful rifle. And this particular rifle, I will say, I'm really, really impressed. The fit and finish of this gun, what I've seen of it, is really, really good. You know, I know that I've heard a lot of good things about the guns that are made in Spain. Traditions kind of has a pretty good reputation of pretty good finish work on these things, and it's really not bad. You know, even how snug the actual ramrod fits in. You know, and the brass is actually pretty smooth and fitted pretty well. I did notice that the front blade sight, you probably won't be able to tell it, but maybe when we get some outside footage, I can show you a little bit more. But the front blade sight is actually just a little bit bent. So I don't know how that's going to affect anything, or if we'll be able to straighten that out or what. It's not a big deal. I can find some way to cope with it. So, but for now, overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. You know, overall fit and finish looks good. The wood's actually finished really good. I don't have any real complaints. Like I said, I haven't shot it, and I'm going to level with you guys. This is new to me. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to a flintlock. So I'm going to get a little education out of this too, because I have no freaking clue. But I do know it's a 50 caliber projectile, lead round ball patched. We'll start it off with probably 50 grains of probably 3F powder. I'm going to try to probably do that, maybe ignition type powder, like a 4F finer powder in the actual pan. And we're going to give it a try. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. And if I get blown up, I blame somebody else. I'm probably going to have to blame, I don't know. I'll find somebody. But either way, we'll have a good time with it. Beautiful rifle. I'm really excited about it. And my goal is with this, I'll tell you, I've been an avid outdoorsman most of my life, hunting and fishing and shooting and such. And my goal is I want to be able to take a deer with this. So that's my goal. I want to shoot this thing and actually take a deer. And hopefully that'll happen this year. So that was my intention, was getting this to actually prepare for a season here to actually try to harvest a deer with a very, very, very primitive, traditional type firearm. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. And if I fail at it, well, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'll do my best and try to harvest a deer. And I'm sure I'll take you guys along on the hunt too. But for now, that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to have some fun. Still going to be shooting and stuff. It's just a whole different world of shooting than what I'm used to. But this particular one, like I said, and I know I did describe, this is a 50 caliber flintlock. It has a 33-inch barrel, and the barrel is, I think it's 1 66 twist, which is kind of stretched out. You know, that's a pretty good twist right there, but should be just fine. And we'll see if we can get it sighted in and stuff. So hang with me, bear with me. Let's learn as we go, and see if I can not only not blow myself up, but hopefully be able to harvest a whitetail buck. So let's see what happens. So if we get everything right and we can practice our freedom just right and let freedom ring with a 50 caliber round lead ball, or actually a 49 diameter caliber round lead ball with a patch, and I don't know, I'll start off with 50 and we'll go up to maybe 60, 70. I don't know. I'll do some more research about that because, like I said, this is not my game. I'm learning. I'm used to AR-15s when it comes to tactical stuff, or maybe MP5s or something. And when it comes to the hunting stuff, I'm used to actually compound bows or, bolt action Remington 700s. So I'm going way back with this one, right? So this should be a lot of fun. And I'm going to get some range footage and stuff out there. But as of right now, fit and finish looks pretty good. Like I said, there was nothing in the box but just the manual. So as we get more stuff and I go ahead and gather up all my necessities that I need, because like I said, I've never been a muzzleloader at all hunter, so we're gonna have to kind of gather everything up. But I'll give you guys kind of a range report on it too and let you guys know how things go on it. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you like the video, I usually don't say this, but if you like the video, like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. It's just kind of helping grow. And this channel's probably not ever going to get monetized, so I'm not on here, trying to grow subscribers for that. I just like having people that actually share my interests and stuff that I can talk to in the comments and hopefully get to enjoy. And maybe I get to pass something on. And if I do skip something or miss something on a review, then just let me know in the comments and I will try to answer the questions and I'll try to fix it for the next one. Like I said, I'm learning this, but nevertheless, we'll do the best that we can to stay on this and keep going as we go. So this will be on the Captain Chad's channel. I know I might have it on Leducator too, because technically YouTube shouldn't be bitching, because this is technically a primitive weapon. It's not part of that nonsense that the ATF likes, right? This is a flintlock, so be good. Be kind, YouTube. Remember, I'll give you a YouTube hug. I appreciate you guys watching. Stay blessed, stay focused, stay driven. As always, 100%. Never ever miss the opportunity to do something nice. Never miss the opportunity to do something to prepare yourself. Always, on this channel, we're going to always learn to train like we fight, so we'll fight like we train. God bless you guys. Have a good one.